Hi everyone, welcome to Ace with Please. Today we're going to be looking at how to find an equation of a parabola when we are given a turning point and another point on the graph. Okay, so this is a pretty easy step process. Okay, so but let's just go into it so that you can get an understanding of what it takes. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is to substitute the coordinate of the turning point into the standard equation y equals to a open bracket x minus p all squared plus q. Okay, so this is a standard equation for a parabola. Okay, where the p and the q represents the x and y coordinates of the turning point respectively. Okay, so what you need to do initially is that you need to substitute uh, the x and the y coordinates of the turning point into this equation. Okay, that is going to be our first step. Okay, and from there you're going to substitute the coordinates of the other the other point. Okay, in addition to what you have already substituted in the first step. Okay, so you're basically going to take your answer from the first step after substituting the y and the x coordinate of the turning point, and then on top of that you're going to substitute the x and the y values of the other point. Okay, and from that you're going to be able to solve for a. Okay, which is this variable. It's still the only variable that is unknown. Okay, and from there you are going to substitute the value of your a, your p and your q into the standard form, or the standard formula or standard equation, and you're going to expand and you'll end up with a quadratic equation in the form y equals to ax squared plus bx plus q. Okay, so let's just go through a couple of examples to make sure that this thing makes sense. Okay, so let's look at the two examples. Okay, so the first one, okay, on your top right you've got a parabola graph. Okay, so it's got a turning point with the coordinates 1 and 2, and it's got a point, another point in the graph 0 and 1. Okay, so we're trying to find the equation of this graph. So to find the equation of this graph, the first thing we said, we want to substitute the coordinates of the turning point into the standard equation. Okay, so this is the standard equation, y equals to a open bracket x minus p all squared plus q. So we're just going to substitute the coordinates of the turning point, which is simply 1 and 2. So here's what we did, 1 and 2. So we substituted for p and q. Okay, and the second step would be to substitute the coordinates of the other point. Okay, so we're basically taking our answer from step 1 and we are substituting the coordinates of the other point. Okay, here's our answer from step 1. We substitute the coordinates of the other point. The other point is 0 and 1, or it's just a y-intercept. Okay, 0 and 1. So the y is 1 and the x is 0. Oh man, I think I made a mistake here. Excuse me. Okay, so the x is 0. Then we have 0 minus 1 all squared is just simply 1. 1 times a is a, and you're gonna end up with a being negative 1. Okay, so that is the most important thing about step 2. We're trying to determine the value of a. Okay, so after getting the value of a, you're gonna go to step 3. So step 3 says that you substitute the value of a, p and q into the standard equation, or into the the standard equation of the parabola. Okay, a open bracket x minus p all squared plus q. Okay, so you substitute a, p and q into that equation. So our a is negative 1 and our p is 1 and our q is 2. Okay, and from here we just expand. Okay, so this shouldn't be a challenge, because I believe that most of you did a whole lot of expansion question in grade 10. Okay, so when you expand, you'll have the negative still outside, and when you expand, what you have on the inside, you'll have x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, close bracket plus 2. Okay, and when you expand, when you multiply the negative inside, you will have negative x squared plus 2x minus 1 plus 2. Okay, and eventually your graph is going to be y equals to negative x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, so that would be the final answer, and that would be the equation of your graph. Okay, so let's look at another example. You are given another equation with the coordinates of the turning point being -1 and -9, and the other point being 3 and 7. Okay, so again, the first step would be to substitute the coordinates of the turning point into the standard equation. Okay, so here is our standard equation. We substitute the coordinates of our turning point. Okay, the x-coordinate is -1. So because the p was negative here, it means it's going to be plus. So it's going to be -1, which gives us +1 all squared. Okay, and then the q, we just substitute it as it is, as it's -9. Okay, and from there on, we're going to go to the second step. The second step says that we must substitute the other point into the answer that we got into that we got from the previous from step 1. Okay, so here's our answer from step 1. We just substitute the coordinates of the other point. So the y coordinate is 7 and the x coordinate is 3, and then when we substitute, we have 7 equals to a into open bracket 3 plus 1 all squared minus 9. And when we simplify everything, we end up with a being equals to 1. Okay, so after this, after getting an a, now what we need to do, we need to go to the last step. Okay, which is step 3. Step 3 says we must substitute the value of a, p and q into the standard equation and then expand. Okay, so the value of a is 1, we put it there, and then the value of p is -1. It changes into +1 because there was a negative already inside the bracket, and then the q is -9. It stays like that. Okay, and then we expand. Okay, and when we expand, we'll have 1 times that bracket x plus 1 all squared. Okay, so it simply becomes that bracket just expanded. We'll have x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 9. Okay, and from there we just simplify. So from x squared plus 2x, x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 9. Okay, 1 and minus 9, they are like terms, so we just add them up. Okay, and we'll end up with -8. So our final equation will be x squared plus 2x minus 8. Okay, I hope that was helpful, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and let's meet in the next video. Thank you.